Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the e-commerce minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts Bart Mraz and John Suter. The e-commerce minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's e-commerce minute episode 229.
In today's episode, rent luxury watches at 11 James.
There's something magical about a nice watch. It can convey an air of sophistication and prestige. A watch like a Rolex lets everyone know you've made it. And some watches carry a bit of history, like a Seiko or an Omega passed down through the family. And some watches are just plain beautiful works of art, like a Hublot or a Patek Philippe. But sadly, beautiful timepieces like this are out of the reach for the average person. 11 James looks to bridge that gap. 11 James, often referred to as the Netflix for watches, is an online subscription rental service for luxury watches. The company offers vintage styles, as well as the usual players in the luxury watch field. Rolex, of course, as well as Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Breitling, Cartier, Hublot, IWC, Omega, Tag Heuer, and the ever-popular, and more. Watch aficionados can also consign or sell their unworn watches to the site. Upon joining, you browse their selection and pick the watches you like. 11 James then sends you a different watch from your collection every 3 months. And if you happen to fall in love with one of these beauties, they'll give you 25% off the purchase price. Collections start at $150 a month for the studio collection, but individual watches can go as high as $1,200 a month for an Audemars Piguet. The company was founded by Randy Brandoff, the former CMO of NetJets. You may also know Randy as one of the co-founders of the tequila Avion Spirits brand, made popular by the HBO show Entourage, prior to its sale to Pernod Ricard in 2014. To date, 11 James has scored $38 million in funding from both private investors and corporations, including Box Group, Kenny Ditcher, and Jason Saltzman.
Ooh.
This is pretty cool. It's a little bit out of my price range, obviously. I mean, I still wear, I wear a Seiko calculator watch, so.
I mean, you can rent them. I mean, Seiko calculator watch came back in style at some point.
Yeah, no, actually, that's only half funny because I think a Seiko, the old calculator watches, the vintage ones, are worth some money now.
Yeah, but all right. So obviously, going to like Patek Philippe is a lot, but if you're going out, like if you're really going to like a big deal type of thing, renting one is not a bad option, right?
I totally agree.
Impress somebody type of thing. I mean, you just got to play that game, but why the hell not? Everything else is rented.
So if you get on the subscription plan, say you're paying, I don't know, $500 a month, a new Audemars Piguet is about $56,000. So
yeah.
Think about that.
So what is that? It's $1,000.
So there's some videos. I'm going to attach some videos. One of the brand managers there, he's this very interesting Asian guy with a really cool mustache. I just put this picture in the chat.
I know.
Real interesting guy though. He's like roots super into watches, obviously, and kind of explains them, how they started. But it's a great little site. I
think this is great. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's, $150 a month is not a whole lot of money when you're talking about some really
if you're into
watches.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into watches, like for me, I would say that's great. Like, obviously we're like you said, like Patek is what, 56?
Yep.
So 56 grand, if you want to switch up your watches all the time and not keep them, like, I think that's fantastic. And it's not even like showing off and stuff like that. I get that, but like, sometimes you want a nice, if you're into watches, obviously. Sometimes you just want to, show up at a good business meeting or a wedding or stuff like that. It's great.
Yep, so, dress to impress. I mean,
yeah.
I'm really into watches. Unfortunately, I've been blessed with little chicken wrists. I love a big chronograph. But some of them look a little funny on me because I got these little, those tiny little girly wrists.
He's just wearing a big ginormous watch.
It just keeps rolling up and down my arm,
Oh, that's so funny.
A Fitbit, so I'm just.
And it looks like you can do consignment with them, which they will buy and do it. That's great. That's a good one.
Which is great. So if you got Grandpa's old Seiko sitting in the drawer, you might want to give these guys a shout. It's 11james.com. And part of the story, I was doing a little research because when I was in Vegas for Shop Talk, there's a store, Shops at Crystal. I don't know if you've been in there. It's that weird shaped store. Did you ever see the Richard Millay store? I just put a link in the chat. Richard Millay creates these watches, crazy watch. I saw the store and I was like, there's only like 6 watches in the store. So I'm like thinking, all right, what's up with this? So I did a little Googleage. Richard Millay watches go as high as $647,000. Can you imagine? Then they're like those kind of watches that the crown is see-through, so you can see the actual stuff going on inside. Really crazy looking watches. Like Formula One drivers wear these watches. These are just like top of the end watches. And it's funny, I did some research on Richard Millay and I found an article about the store, and the article was written in vegasrack.com by our friend Susan Stapleton. Small world.
Oh, look at that. That is true.
So shout out to our friend Susan. Hello in Vegas.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, pretty cool. Got anything else to add to this one?
I wish I would love to watch this much.
Yeah, I know.
Although now looking at this, I'm at the article about the Richard Mille one. Because what ads do I get?
Yeah. They've been since I wrote this article the other day. They've been following me around on every website. So
that's really funny. All right.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media @Sumo Heavy.